You ever notice everything around you is poison and you're consumed by things that are pushing you to ingest or give yourself or your pets or anything around you poison? And I don't mean to take this so dramatically. However, it is kind of a dramatic concern for me and for our future. Let's just look at, for instance, I have 2 Boston Terriers, and I haven't given them their Credelio in the past couple months simply because I feel like it is poison. Look at all the neurological and other issues, seizures, ataxia, and all that other stuff that it causes these small animals that are in our lives for such a short amount of time. Why would you limit their lifespan by giving them this? And yes, I've given them it in the past, and for a while I've refrained from it because I was like, why would I want to give this to them? It's basically poison for them. Yes, people can live a significant amount of time, or pets can live a significant amount of time taking it without any issues or repercussions, but that's chancing it. It's basically like smoking. Like, yeah, XYZ or so-and-so lived for so long and they were a smoker. However, are you really living your best healthy life if you're taking something that you know is a known carcinogen for your body? And this is also true with a lot of things that is pushed upon us. For example, I was recently at the dermatologist and I didn't even do my research, but they were like, you need tretinoin or trenin or however you say it. And because I have some adult acne and they thought it would help. So lo and behold, I assumed it was just a regular vitamin E. I think that's what retinol is. Well, it was a synthetic version with all kinds of other fillers in it. And granted, it probably works good, but then I read some studies about how it had adverse effects on your liver, even though it's only placed topically. And that's because whatever you place on your skin is absorbed in your body, the same with whatever you breathe. So why would I want to put something on my skin that has an adverse effect or long-term problem? The same for any medications. I get it, some people need to take it, but my husband takes actually a blood pressure medication that is made from olives by doctors. That is not because he had such terrible side effects from the actual professional clinical prescription that was synthetically derived. So let's take a look and look at all of these things that are pushed on us that we don't even have time sometimes to research, and we assume that we're getting told the best thing or they have the best interest in mind for us. And in reality, do they? I don't really think that they do their own research to know if they're telling you the right thing, or if they just assume that they know because that's all they've been told. So, moral of the story, do your research and don't assume. Don't take those risks because long-term health effects are real. And, for example, for years, people have been taking, and they still take today, even though there's better options, synthetic vitamins. Synthetic vitamins are not absorbed in the body the same way. They're probably peed or pooped out, and they do not have the same effect on you or absorbed correctly in your body or your bloodstream. And I'm very huge on this because you think when you're buying vitamins, which are expensive to begin with, that you're getting the right level of whatever the vitamin is, and it's going to be absorbed correctly. And you're like, I'm taking iron and it's going to be absorbed correctly. However, you need to really look at where it's derived from. And the same goes for other things we use in our daily lives, like microplastics. It is said that we have so many microplastics in our brain because of all the water bottle consumptions or water bottle consumptions and other plastics that are involved in our daily life. But if you were just cognizant of the simple things in life and made note to deter what you can control in your life, it would make a huge difference. Like fragrances. Synthetic fragrances, to be specific, have such a bad impact on our endocrine system and our ability to do a lot of things. Like, for example, when we breathe in synthetic fragrances, we have allergic responses to them and other issues. And some may say that they don't have these issues right now and will later on, but it's not good for you. So why chance it? The same with candles. Candles, especially petroleum-based ones, are literally, I read some article the other day about, are literally the same as ingesting or inhaling diesel fuel. So why would you want that in your house? You wouldn't. I mean, if you do, you're chancing it. You're taking that risk. And every time you take the risk of breathing in or chancing some chemical you know that's bad in your life, you're risking your lifespan. Why would you want to do that? Some people may say, yeah, I have nothing else to live for, so why would I want to live that long anyways? Well, that's not necessarily a good thing. I feel like you're self-sabotaging, and you could look at life differently 5 years from now. Maybe you have someone else in your life, or you have other things to live for besides just yourself and your thoughts. And I feel like a lot of times these synthetic additives and chemicals in our life really make a difference on our self-awareness, our neurologically, our brain development, and the way we think about things and how we feel. That's why when you switch to natural deodorant, you have a detox period after you switch. So switching right away and you think you have this terrible rash because of the deodorant might be because your body is getting rid of all the toxic chemicals you put on your underarms for years. It doesn't just go away one time when you switch to a cleaner deodorant. It takes years for your body, or months, or however long you want it to take, to detox, because you have to clear your system and lymph nodes of all these chemicals. And I say celery juice is a good way to do it every morning if you have some. But realistically, doing steam rooms, saunas, walking outside, sunlight, just exposing yourself to natural air and being able to detox and just thinking positively can really help detox your mind, your body, everything of these symptoms. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that holding or using these chemicals within your body and holding in these toxins can deter your ability to lose weight or be able to cognizantly be aware of, some people think they can't tell when they're hungry or can't tell when it's enough. And I feel like having these chemicals out of your body allows you to have a clearer sense of understanding of when you're hungry and when to stop, and knowing how you feel, internally. It makes a huge difference. Being more aware and self-aware of these things is because you have rid yourself of these chemicals, and you're not going to rid yourself of them completely. You have to do it ongoing. You have to go consistently and try to rid yourself of these toxins in your body, because every day we're exposed to them. I know it sounds crazy, but in cars, I don't think they even use organic or non-synthetic materials. So that's another example. And just being exposed daily and knowing that if you detox, you can feel a huge difference. And you might not necessarily be able to do it daily, but as frequently as you can. And just things like mental detox, like meditation, yoga, prayer, can make a huge difference on how you feel and how you are, like, presenting yourself and feeling about yourself daily. But without this type of clarity in your life, like I said, it's easy to not understand how and when you should eat, or how and when you should feel a certain way or do certain things. And it gets very clouded because you have all these things clouding your mind and your judgment, and it's toxins, believe it or not. So knowing how much of an impact it can have in your life to detox is imperative. And I feel like the animals can do a similar thing by going for walks, spending time outside, because sometimes they need a detox too. But giving them the cleanest, healthiest food, which further brings me to the point that I cannot stand when people have pets and they do not care about their food choices for their pets. Their pet is like a son or daughter to them, I feel like, because they're part of the family. And I feel like if you're going to feed your family nice, you should feed your pets just as well as also. They don't want to eat cardboard, garbage food from the store that has been recalled. And it's very important to be aware that if you don't pay attention to your pet's well-being, that impacts their longevity as well. So the important moral of the story is that we are surrounded by these distractions. This sense of knowing that we can make changes in our lives and we can be the one to make a difference is imperative. So don't be distracted by all the distractions and the people that want to tell you not to research and shove other ideas or interests in your face, because if it's too easy to do, it's not going to be true. And if it's not clean, it's not going to help. I mean, there's so many fake things out there at the grocery store that they say are clean and healthy to eat, but in reality, they're not. They're actually just some toxic chemical preservative laden food or version of yogurt or whatever it is that isn't even real, because it doesn't even have the real product in it. And why have we moved to this type of society? I don't know, but it's up to us to change it and to deny it so that it doesn't keep getting sold in the stores, and we demand transparency. If we don't demand transparency for our lives and vote or show what we want with our dollar, then product companies are still, and corporations are still going to continue to make these type of products. And if we do not take care of our bodies and are mindful, it will have a lasting impact on our lives.